Welcome back. As cattlemen across the country know all too well, there is no shortage of production problems to worry about. Some of those problems can be hard to fix, but in the battle against brush, there are some effective techniques cattlemen are using on their land. Cattleman to Cattleman's Brian Baxter traveled to West Texas to learn more about busting brush.
On West Texas rangeland, as in much of the Southwest, one of the most common species that can take over a ranch is mesquite. And while mesquite is the target here, brush and other woody plants can have a real impact on your cattle production no matter where you ranch.
I think a lot of people underestimate the impact that brush is having on their country, especially if we're looking through the eyes of a livestock producer. One impact is just grazable acres. A lot of these stocking rates we've had in the past are based on previous conditions, and nowadays there may be 25%, 30% less land there to graze just because of access that's prohibited by the brush. So brush control protects the production potential of these ranches over time.
Dr. Alan McGinty is the range specialist for Texas AgriLife Extension in San Angelo, Texas. He's spent most of his career refining techniques to use in the battle against brush.
You know, we have a lot of, especially some of our hunters, they think that you can't have too much brush. And you can. Whenever we do nothing and allow many of these species like juniper, mesquite just to increase without any type of control, we actually lose a lot of our diversity out there. And that's a problem. That's our health. And that's a strength of rangelands, is that plant diversity. And then also, the spinoff is you don't have as good a habitat for wildlife, or you don't have as good of a ranch for forage production for livestock.
McGinty notes that as the value of wildlife has been more widely recognized, many ranchers realize it's in their best interest to keep some brush on the land.
There's a term that really was coined within the last 10 years, and it's called brush sculpting. And the concept behind all that is that ranchers do often need to control one plant right next to another, or one species is compared to another. It's not an advantage to control brush fence line to fence line in a lot of cases.
So McGinty says many ranchers are now turning to individual plant treatments as a means of selectively controlling brush.
Well, the individual plant treatment is where we actually go and treat a specific plant one at a time. And just by doing that, we achieve a lot of selectivity that we can't whenever we say we fly an airplane over an area and spray it with herbicide, or we unleash a big D9 out there with a root plow. So it's simply treating one plant at a time. This is a good example right here of why selectivity is important. In West Texas, this is low bush. This plant is real desirable if a person is interested in quail production. It protects those birds from the hawks and gives them some good loafing cover. Whereas here we got a mesquite growing right in the middle. The rancher may want to take these mesquites out, and using these methods, we can come here and we can kill this mesquite very easily and do no harm to the lote bush here around it.
In the past, many ranchers managed brush by aerial spraying or mechanical means. Dr. Alan McGinty says those more expensive methods have their place, but brush will come back, and the way to protect those past investments is with individual plant treatments.
This is a good example right here of a situation that we'd want to target using these individual plant treatments. We can come here right now and treat this for maybe $5, $6 an acre, whereas if we wait 10 years from now, it's going to cost us $30 or more per acre to fly herbicide on this. Or if we have to use mechanical, and right here we cannot spray with an airplane because of some drift concerns around here, we'd be talking about over $100 per acre. There's 4 basic ways that we apply herbicides to individual plants, either to the leaf, to the stem, the basal stems, to cut surfaces, the cut stump, or to the soil underneath those trees.
One of the low-cost ways many ranchers use is by strapping on a backpack sprayer and applying herbicides directly to the stem of the plant. It's an option that works well in all parts of the country.
Yes, we can apply herbicides to the base of a plant, those basal stems, and get excellent control. And one of the advantages to that method and why it's so popular is it doesn't take much equipment, just a backpack sprayer. You got to put the right nozzle on there. The herbicide that we commonly use down here in the Southwest and also Texas is Remedy, Remedy Ultra. And that's not a restricted use product, say in Texas, so you don't have to have a license to use it. And it's just very popular with a lot of our people. They can do it any time of the year too. The keys to success on using a stem spray is to make sure that you treat every stem, every basal stem, all the way around, and from a height of, say, ground line to maybe 12 inches. Don't get lazy. Don't treat higher than that. Take the time to get that herbicide close to the soil surface.
Another method that's gaining popularity around the country is a leaf spray.
Most of the time when we're doing the leaf spray, we're using some form of ATV, and then we simply equip it with a tank and a pump that has a handgun and the correct nozzle, generally for the spray equipment less than $150 investment. Whenever we're using a leaf spray, you'll notice we're always mixing a dye in there, and that dye is important. It's as important as the herbicide. So as we spray, we use that dye to make sure we're painting that plant a color so that we don't miss parts. And of course it also helps us make sure that we don't miss plants out there or double spray plants.
McGinty says that with a good leaf spray rig, it's possible to treat several hundred trees per hour.
Individual plant treatments are used by a variety of ranchers in different situations. They're real, of course, popular with small acreage landowners, of course, but even the big ranches use them. And the thing about these individual plant treatments are you can do them anytime. If you got a couple hours in the afternoon, you can go use that time, to treat some brush, and it's just staying after it. That's what it is. And I guarantee you, if you're ranching, you understand that this brush control, it's a lifelong hobby. It's something you will always be doing.
To find out more about busting brush and making your rangeland healthier and more productive, visit cattlemantocattleman.org.